Shortly after graduation, I moved up to Milwaukee, was working for a bank providing auto loans in a 7-state region for one of the major banks, and it wasn't at all rewarding. I wanted to, really give back to the community and really have something that was a little bit more meaningful than just helping people get new cars. And when I was in Milwaukee, I spent a lot of time. They've got some great parks along Lake Michigan and walking along the lake and on the trails. And, it was a respite. It was a way for me to get away from a situation that, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as enjoyable as I hoped life to be. And ultimately, I went and got my master's degree in Parks and Recreation Administration. And the reason I say that I didn't go into Parks and Recreation from the very beginning is that my mom, at the time I was an undergraduate at the University of Illinois, was the academic advisor for leisure studies, which would have been the program you would have gone through if you wanted to be in Parks and Recreation at the time. And I didn't want my mom as my academic advisor. But when I thought about what Parks and Recreation does, I really do like the business side of Parks and Recreation and managing people. And that's something that attracted me to the business degree that I originally had. But I also wanted to give back to the community, and I saw the perfect alignment with that. And as soon as I sat in my very first class as a master's student, I realized that I had found the right profession and I was where I was supposed to be. Getting to Carmel, my first full-time job in Parks and Recreation was in Lafayette as their marketing manager. So I was introduced to the great state of Indiana. Had a time where I got to open a new recreation center in Missouri. And then I came back to Indiana working for a consultant that does master planning and management planning for park systems throughout the country. And one of our clients was Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation, as they were thinking about and preparing to build this new park, Central Park. And, it was incredible to be a part of the planning experience with that, and especially to help with the business planning for the Monon Community Center. And in some of those planning meetings, I learned that they were getting ready to create their first ever assistant director position. And I went up to Mark Westermeyer, who was the director at the time, and said, I don't know anything about the position, what you're paying or anything like that, but I'm really excited about what Carmel and Clay Township are doing to create a world-class park system. And as much as I like being a consultant and learning the best and worst of what other park systems are doing, I miss helping to implement those plans. And I was fortunate to be interviewed. It was the longest interview process in the world. Actually, I had the interview and didn't hear anything back. I called to see where things were because I hadn't heard positive or negative. And Mark had said, "Oh yeah, we're still evaluating. You're still very much being considered. Sorry it's taken so long." After a couple months, did another follow-up. After 3 months, did another follow-up. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting this position. And then I think it was about almost 6 months later, I get a phone call and am offered the position and have been here as of 2021, 17 years, and it has been the most rewarding position and more than I could have ever imagined. And so thankful to be a part of this community, to help lead a tremendous team that has been nationally accredited, has won 2 gold medal awards, and does that not because of the prestige of winning those awards, but because of the validation that it shows that we're serving our community at the highest levels. So that's how I got here and why I'm so proud to be here. Wow, the biggest accomplishment for Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation, I think it really needs to go back to just the volume of people that we serve and the impact that we have on the Carmel Clay community. When you think about it, Carmel Clay Parks has as many visitors, actually has more visitors than Yellowstone, Yosemite, Grand Canyon National Parks. Each of those don't serve near as many people individually as our parks do here in Carmel. And if you think about that, that is just tremendous. And we do that because we listen to the public and we understand what they want to see from their park system, whether it's the environments that we create here in the parks or it's the programs and services we offer. We're in tune with that, and we reach out and make sure that we're constantly in tune with that. So I'm most proud of that relationship that we've developed with the community and the way that we've truly made Carmel, or helped make Carmel at least, a better place to live, work, and play. I think what I'm most proud of with Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation, I mean, there's so many different things. One is to see during my tenure how we've continued to evolve and, take what was truly a groundswell of public support and citizens that wanted to preserve public space. And, we have a park system that is over 80% natural spaces. Great respites in the middle of a growing and thriving community. So I'm incredibly proud to provide that type of environment and those types of places for people to go. The programming that we offer, I mean, I grew up in a community with an incredible park system, and they offered so many different programs for the community, but what we offer here in Carmel and at Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation is so much more than what I ever envisioned a park system being able to provide. And that's all possible because of the tremendous team that we've assembled. The elected officials, of course, that support parks, a park board that, whether it's our original park board that helped create the park system or the park board we have today that's dedicated to ensuring we have the resources to provide what we do. But most importantly, the staff that we've assembled, both in the past and in the present, that is so incredibly dedicated to parks and recreation, serving the public and providing incredible, enjoyable experiences to everyone that visits the park system or interacts with us. That's what I'm most proud of. So Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation has really accomplished a lot in its first 30 years. In many ways, you can almost look at our prehistory in a couple segments. The very first half was really about creating the footings for what is now an incredible park system. And it really wasn't until 2006, 2007 when Extended School Enrichment came online, the Monon Community Center and Central Park opened, that we kind of hit our strides as to what we are today. And now we get to look forward to the next 30 years plus. And what's so exciting to me is that this park system is only 30 years old, and there's so much more potential for us. One of the things that I hope is part of the ethic that we're creating for now and into the future is that we are focused forever on the public and ensuring that we're providing the resources that our residents want, that we're innovative and looking at the best and brightest ways to be able to serve the public, and that we're always reimagining parks. Right now, we're doing some incredible transformations throughout the park system, upgrading the playgrounds and parks and providing even more inviting places for the public to come. But in the next 30 years, I hope we never lose focus of that reimagination, because we're always going to have to evolve. The world is changing, our community is changing, the climate is changing, and we also need to change to make sure that we're the best and the brightest at everything that we do. So the worst thing that could happen in 30 years is for us to come back and celebrate our 60th anniversary and everything look exactly the way it does today. If we haven't done our jobs. And I know that's not going to be the case. We have such great dedicated staff. We have a community that provides us tremendous support. We have elected officials that understand the value of parks and recreation. And we have set the groundwork for a park system that isn't only a 2-time gold medal winner, but likely is going to have several more by the time we're celebrating our 60th and beyond. So asking the director of Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation what's your favorite park is kind of like asking the director of the National Park Service what his or her favorite park is. And I have asked that question before. And I'm going to give kind of a similar response. It's hard to say that I have a favorite because each park is unique in its own special way. But there are a couple places that I really do enjoy going that, are truly memorable and impactful to me. One, I love Central Park, and especially the East Woods, and the trails in the East Woods are my favorite place to go and just reflect and contemplate and enjoy a little bit of nature in the middle of the city. Love getting my yellow Labrador out there and exploring the trails. So that's kind of one of my happy places in the park system. So my other place that I find very special within our parks is one that hasn't realized its full potential yet, but I absolutely love River Heritage Park. And what I love about it is what most people don't know about it, but soon will, is that, we call it River Heritage Park, but if you go there today, you don't see the river. And we're going to be creating an incredible trail network, fully accessible, so people in wheelchairs or with mobility disabilities will be able to get out and explore nature, get to the river, and see everything that it has. But once you get to the river, just hearing the rapids of the river, seeing the wildlife. One of the last times I was out there, I saw multiple deer. I saw 4 eagles flying overhead. It's truly a special place, and it's hard to believe that you're in the middle of a metropolitan area. So those are 2 of my sort of special places, but I love all of our parks.